AITA for cutting my girlfriend off from the one thing she needs after she blocked me? I did not slash her car tires. I did not scream at her door at 3 in the morning like a desperate ex. I did not even send a malicious text message. I just sat in my car, watched the lights go out in the apartment I paid for, and realized my entire life with Isabella had been an expensive lie. She thought blocking me on all social media, blocking my number, and erasing me from existence was a power move. She thought she could just ghost me after 3 years because she found someone more interesting. She forgot one small, insignificant detail in her grand plan to upgrade her life. She forgot her credit score is 540, and the only reason she has a roof over her head is because my signature is on the lease. She wanted space. I decided to give her the ultimate space, the curb. It took me exactly 5 minutes to dismantle her world. I drove home in silence. The kind of cold, deafening silence that hums in your ears when your adrenaline is maxed out. I opened my laptop. I went to the lease agreement in the folder called Our Future. Ironic, I know. And I found the clause. Section 13, subsection B. The guarantor withdrawal provision. I was not going to be a monster and have her evicted in 24 hours. No, the contract stated I could withdraw with written notice, giving the tenant 7 days, 1 single week, to produce a new, qualified guarantor or vacate the premises immediately. 7 days. It was just enough time for the panic to set in, for reality to crush her, and for her new man to realize he was dating a housing problem. I drafted the email to the landlord, Mr. Gallagher. Subject: Immediate withdrawal of guarantor status, Unit 402. Dear Mr. Gallagher, effective immediately, I am formally withdrawing as the financial guarantor for Isabella Miller. I will no longer cover any liabilities associated with this lease. Please initiate the standard protocol for an unsecured tenant. I hit send. It was 11:42 p.m. on a Tuesday. I poured myself a bourbon, turned off my phone, and slept like a baby for the first time in weeks. To understand why I did this, you need to understand the level of disrespect I was dealing with. This was not just a breakup. It was a demolition of my dignity. Isabella and I were together for 3 years. I am Hudson, 32. I work in supply chain management for a major retail corporation. It is stable, predictable, and pays well. Isabella, 26, was an aspiring content creator, which basically meant she worked part-time at a high-end boutique and spent the rest of her time curating her Instagram feed. I did not mind. I loved her. I wanted to take care of her. When she found that dream loft in the West Loop district, with exposed brick walls and floor-to-ceiling windows, rent $3,800 a month, she cried because she could not get approved. Her income was laughable compared to the rent. I offered to help. Of course, I offered. I paid the security deposit, $5,000. I paid the first and last month's rent up front. I signed the guarantor papers because I thought we were a team. I thought we were us. Fast forward to last month. She started pulling away. The classic signs: working late, just tired. She started hiding her phone screen. When I tried to talk about officially moving in together when my own lease was up, she got weird. She said she needed her autonomy, and I was being suffocating. And then came the ghosting. Last Monday, I sent a text asking if she wanted to get dinner. Delivered, no read receipt. I called, and it went straight to voicemail. I checked Instagram, could not find her profile. I checked Facebook, nothing. I asked a mutual friend, Kira, if Isabella was okay. Kira acted strange, mumbled something about Isabella going through a lot, and hung up. I panicked. I genuinely thought something had happened to her. I drove to her apartment, practically our apartment, and used my key fob to get into the lobby. I went up to the 4th floor. I did not even get to put my key in the door. I could hear it from the hallway. Music, laughter, and then a man's voice that was definitely not mine. A deep, cocky laugh. I knocked. The laughter stopped. Footsteps approached the door, and it opened. There stood Carter. I knew immediately who he was. He was the fitness influencer she started following 3 months ago, the guy who was, in her words, super inspiring. He was shirtless, wearing sweatpants, and holding a beer. My beer, the craft IPAs I had stocked in her refrigerator the week before. "Can I help you, bro?" he asked, leaning on the doorframe like he owned the building. "I am looking for Isabella," I said, my voice surprisingly steady. Isabella appeared behind him, wearing one of my oversized college sweatshirts. When she saw me, she did not look sorry. She looked irritated, like I was a delivery driver interrupting her evening. Hudson, seriously? She sighed, crossing her arms. I blocked you for a reason. I cannot deal with this right now. You just showing up here is toxic. This is exactly why I need space. You blocked me, I asked, looking from her to Carter. You could not just end it with me? You just blocked me. I did not want drama, she shot back, her tone clipped. And now you are here, causing drama. Carter and I are just seeing where things go. Please, just leave. You are embarrassing yourself. Carter smirked. That smirk is seared into my brain. That is right, man. She asked you to leave. Do not make me call building security. Security. In that building, I was her security. I paid for it. Okay, I said. I looked at Isabella. You want me to leave? I will leave. Good luck, Isabella. Whatever, she said and shut the door in my face. I heard the deadbolt turn. Then I heard Carter say, "What a loser," followed by her little giggle. That was the moment the love died, and a cold, mechanical fury took over. It was in that moment I decided she did not just deserve a breakup. She deserved a reality check that would hit her bank account harder than she hit my heart. The fallout did not start immediately. Wednesday passed. Thursday passed. I knew Gallagher, the landlord, was a by-the-book guy. He was not an emailer. He was a formal letter type. He would process my withdrawal, review Isabella's file, realize she was woefully underqualified, and send a formal cure or quit notice by certified mail. Friday morning, my phone went insane. I was in a meeting when I saw it light up. Isabella, blocked. It went to voicemail. Then again. Then a text from a number I did not have saved, probably Carter's phone. Then Kira, the friend who lied to me. I stepped out of the meeting and listened to my voicemail. Hudson, what the hell is this? I just got a letter from Gallagher. It says you withdrew as guarantor. It says I have 7 days to find a new co-signer who makes 40 times the rent, or I have to get out. Are you insane? You cannot do this. Call me right now. Her voice was shrill and panicked. The arrogance from the hallway was gone. I did not call back. An hour later, an email from her. Subject: You are ruining my life. Hudson, I do not know what kind of sick game you are playing, but this is not funny. My parents cannot co-sign for me. Their credit is maxed out. You know that. You promised you would help me with this apartment. You are making me homeless because I moved on. This is financial abuse. Fix this now, or I am telling everyone what kind of psycho you are. I laughed out loud in the office break room. Financial abuse. The audacity was breathtaking. Then came the text from Carter. He messaged me from his number. Hey man, low blow. You are messing with a girl's housing. That is a coward's move. Be a man and handle your hurt feelings without being a jerk. Put your name back on the paper. We can talk about you getting your deposit back later, but do not kick her out. I finally replied, not to her, but to him. Carter, since you are the man of the house now, I am sure you can co-sign. Rent is $3,800. You need to show proof of income around $150,000 a year. If you cannot afford it, maybe you guys should not be living there. Not my problem anymore. He did not reply. I knew why. Carter was a fitness influencer with 4,000 followers and at least one leased BMW. He probably did not have $500 in a savings account, let alone the credit history to back a luxury loft. Saturday came, and the clock was ticking. She had until Tuesday to figure it out or get out. The messages changed from angry to pleading. Hudson, please. I am sorry for how it happened. I was just scared of hurting you. Can we meet for coffee? I miss you. This whole thing with Carter is not even serious. I was just confused. Do not throw away 3 years over one mistake. I love the apartment. It reminds me of you, please. It reminds me of you. That line almost made me puke. It reminded her of me because I paid for every single thing inside it. I replied to her email with a single attachment, a spreadsheet. Subject: Property Recovery Schedule. I listed every single item in that apartment that I had purchased. The $2,000 Samsung frame TV, the $3,500 West Elm sectional sofa, the $600 Dyson vacuum, the espresso machine, the rug Carter was standing on with his dirty shoes, the bed frame, the mattress, even the pots and pans. Isabella, I am not re-signing the lease. The withdrawal is final. As you will be vacating, I will be collecting my property this Sunday at 10 a.m. I have attached receipts for every item listed. Please leave the door unlocked, or I will bring the police for a civil standby to ensure I can retrieve my belongings without incident. The threat of police shut her up. She knew she could not win that one. Sunday morning was the climax. I rented a U-Haul truck and brought two of my biggest friends from the warehouse, Zachary and Nolan. We parked out front at 9:55 a.m. When I walked in, the apartment was chaos. Boxes were half-packed. Isabella was sitting on the floor, crying. Carter was leaning against the kitchen island trying to look tough, but he would not make eye contact with Zachary or Nolan. "You are really doing this?" Isabella sobbed, looking up at me with mascara running down her face. "You are taking the bed? Where am I going to sleep for the next 2 days?" "Ask Carter," I said, not blinking. "Carter seems like a resourceful guy. Maybe he has an air mattress." I pointed to the couch. "Zachary, Nolan, grab that first. Watch the corners." We emptied the place. It was surgical. I did not yell. I did not break anything. I just reclaimed my life, piece by piece. Carter tried to stop me when I went for the TV. "Dude, what the hell? The game is on later," he grumbled, standing in front of the wall mount. I stopped and looked him dead in the eye. "Carter, this television costs more than your car payments. Move, or I am adding assault to the police report I will have the pleasure of filing right now." He moved. He was a coward. They always are. As we were loading the mattress into the elevator, the neighbors were watching. I saw Mrs. Whitaker from 403 peeking out. Isabella was mortified. She just stood in the empty living room, which was now just hardwood floors and an echo, and screamed at me. "I hope you die alone. You are a bitter, sad old man. You bought all this stuff to buy my love anyway." I turned in the doorway, holding the last box, my collection of vinyl records she claimed to love but never listened to. "I did not buy your love, Isabella," I said calmly. "I rented it, and the lease is up." The deadbolt clicked, but I was not done. The financial knife needed one last twist. She moved out on Tuesday. She had to. She had nowhere to go and no one to co-sign. She ended up on Carter's couch in his one-room apartment, which I heard from Kira is a cramped basement suite that smells like damp gym clothes. Paradise. A month later, I got the final communication from the landlord. Since she effectively broke the lease by failing to secure a new guarantor, resulting in her eviction, there was a penalty of 2 months' rent plus damages. The security deposit I had paid, the $5,000, was completely absorbed by the landlord to cover the lease break penalty and cleaning costs. But it was not enough. There was still an outstanding balance of $2,400 for the remainder of the penalty and for some damages to the hardwood floor, scratches I assume were made dragging her stuff out. Since I was no longer the guarantor, the debt was solely in her name. The landlord sent me a statement showing the application of the deposit and noted that the remaining balance was being sent to a collection agency under her name. I had taken a precaution. I sent a certified letter to the landlord clarifying that the deposit originated from my funds, and while I forfeited it to cover the breach, any damages or further penalties were her sole responsibility as the tenant of record. I decided to file a claim against her in small claims court. Not for the rent. I let that go as the cost of a lesson learned, but for the $5,000 deposit that was used to pay her debt. My argument was simple. I paid the deposit as security for the unit with the legal expectation of its return. Her actions directly caused the forfeiture of my money. I had the summons and complaint served to her at Carter's gym. That was a special touch. A process server walked right up to her while she was filming a couple's workout video with Carter and handed her the envelope. She called me 10 minutes later, screaming, "I do not have $5,000, Hudson. You know I do not. Carter and I are barely making rent. Sell the Gucci bag I bought you," I suggested. "Or maybe Carter can pick up some extra personal training clients." She did not show up to court. She could not afford a lawyer and was too afraid to face me. The judge issued a default judgment in my favor for $5,000 plus court costs. I know I will probably never see the money. Garnishing her wages would take years, given how little she likely declares as income. But it is not about the money. It is about the fact that every time she tries to get a loan, a credit card, or sign a lease for the next 7 to 10 years, that judgment will be there. A big red flag on her credit report that says risk. I heard from Kira recently. Apparently, the basement studio romance did not last. Carter got tired of Isabella complaining about the lack of space and his inability to support her lifestyle. He ended things with her 3 weeks after the move out. She moved back home with her parents in Ohio, working in a coffee shop to pay down her credit cards. As for me, I am sitting in my new place, a place that is all mine. The West Elm sofa looks great in my living room. The TV is mounted perfectly. It is quiet. No drama. No lies. No parasites. Sometimes, late at night, I will open my blocked folder on my phone. There are dozens of messages from her, apologies, insults, pleas. I never read them. I just delete them. It cost me $5,000 and a broken heart to learn my worth. But seeing her face when I took the bed, that was priceless. The best revenge is not keying a car or screaming in the street. The best revenge is paperwork, patience, and the absolute certainty that you can rebuild your empire while they were only ever a guest in it. I am finally, in every sense of the word, debt-free. Comment. Navigating relationships can be incredibly tough, and sometimes we lose sight of our own worth in the process. I believe this story is a powerful reminder of the importance of setting firm boundaries. Protecting your peace and your finances is not selfish, but a necessary act of self-respect. We all have a responsibility to be kind, but that kindness must first extend to ourselves. True healing often begins the moment you decide you deserve better. The path forward might not always look graceful, but it is still about moving forward nonetheless. The true goal is not retribution, but the quiet confidence that comes from rebuilding your life on your own terms. Remember that your value is inherent and not dependent on anyone else's validation. Never be afraid to advocate for yourself, even when it is the hardest thing to do. I hope you always choose the path that leads to your own well-being and inner peace. If you liked it, don't forget to leave a comment and support the channel by subscribing. See you in the upcoming stories.